to introduce you to our web series to begin with, Videshi Wisdom. I think Australians have a good perspective over Indians overall. Bhargav, what do you think?
There is a lot of love, I can say that, and we have a lots of respect to coming.
I think we're lucky. We're very lucky that way. We are not white skinned, but we are loved.
It's just because we keep our work with us. Just I told you, South Indians, most of the South Indians, we just come from a culture where that we are like apne kaam se apne kaam rakhte hum log. So we keep it ourselves. We take the education, we take the work, we take the job seriously, we take the money and leave the place. That's it. So that's how we are. Yeah. So that culture really helped us, many of us. And while I'm in profession, so today I'm a project engineer and I'm a project manager as well when I was working in state government. And the construction industry is more dominant by hard-working Australians, just like daily wage laborers. They don't have any proper big education, so you can understand like how they speak or how they behave. So they are more like bit hard and rough people. So but still their initial education is giving respect. So I deal with people who are way more cranky than an average Australian, because construction is that kind of field where you get all rough people working with you. So there are like probably 80 people working under me. There might be a machine operator, so there might be laborers, so there are junior engineers, grad engineers, and site inspectors, supervisors. So it comes to the daily wage laborer as well. So all these kinds of guys, they have their kind of attitude, they got their kind of rude and rough kind of speaking style. So to coping that and being respectful to each and everyone is something like you have to balance every day. You can't but still that's like you respect. The basic thing is respect, and everyone is very easy with you. So me being and talking in construction industry is something you can understand how whole Australia works while coming to the workplace. So if you're looking for if you're asking regarding the professional part-time jobs, so straight away you can't be a grad engineer, or else you can't directly go to be a site engineer. So many of people come in a misconception that we got 5 years of experience and we can straight away jump into some big project engineering role and I can manage it. No, it takes a lot to learn the Australian culture. So whenever you work in a country, you don't just work there. You just learn their culture and act according to that. So working is different, and knowing their culture and acting with that culture is different. So that's what Australia requires first. So if you ask me if there is no any professional part-times, no, there are some professional jobs which you can do part-time, but not in a level of where a project engineering or a civil or a site engineering or a grad engineer. So you have to look for these geotechnical labs, and there are some soil testing subcontractors who hire students on because you get to work 20 hours per week legally. And when they hire you, it's bit kind of a hard job. You can't expect you just go and sit in an office and it's a civil engineering job, so you have to be on site. If a soil tester, by name itself you're a soil tester, so you'll be going on site, and you'll be picking up the soil samples and you're sending it to the lab, you're doing your record work and everything. So pretty much it's like your GT lab. If I'm not wrong, I think you guys must have your geotechnical engineering labs or concrete technology labs. Yes. Whatever it is. Yeah, so it's pretty much that whatever you do, you did that in that lab, you'll be doing here, and you'll be earning money. And here, coming to the wages, when you're a student for 20 hours, which is legally you are obliged to work, have proper legal bonding. It's not like US or some place that you're working illegally and you're getting exploited or something. There's a certain amount of wage amount which is set up by government, and you won't get he should be paying that. And rules are very strict here that if they track it down, he'll be in trouble, not you. So Australia is pretty strict on that, and the wage rates for that one is pretty high. But for that, again, I'm telling you, you need to know the working culture in Australia first. You can't just come here and say that I didn't find job, people are not helpful, or you can't complain. That first thing, when you come here, it takes time for learning the working culture. So you can't expect a white person coming into India and working with you according to your customs in your home. Like, we have many customs in Hindu customs or Muslim customs or whatever it is. Like Indian customs is very different from these white people or westernized people. And you can't expect them in the day one itself. They come and, they learn all about your culture and work according to you. So even the same thing happens when you come to Australia. So it takes some time. So I suggest people first, when they come up here, they just try to learn the culture. Read the people. Then it's a walk on cake. People who are complaining here that we don't get part-time, so we don't get professional jobs or something, it's completely utter bullshit. Okay, it's crap. So when you have a character of to go in front and talk to people and knowing their culture, welcoming the culture, embracing it, then it's very easy for you every day here. It's not a big thing. And coming to racism, I'll just send, as I said, like the same thing, culture comes in. If you just don't keep it to yourself, that's where it starts. Okay, just keep whatever it is, the work culture, whatever it is, partying, everything in limit. Okay, when you're walking on street, just walk on the street. You don't need to stare at people, and you don't need to make comments on someone or something like that. So when you're walking on street, just walk to your destination. That's it. Nothing happens, man. There is no any gun culture here. So I know the news, whatever you're listening from Australia, I think they are utterly unfortunately happened. I know that some people have died when they went for trekking or when they fall into waterfalls or something. Yeah. There is danger everywhere. Even the recent movie Manjumal Boys, it says the same thing. So that happened in Australia. Someone fell in waterfall and they died, and someone went for trekking and they died. So someone got a snake bite, they died. So it's unfortunate. It can happen anywhere. But coming to any kind of mugging or any gun culture or any stealing things from new people coming up, death threats, no bullshit like that. It's the safest country.
Acha, Bhargav, you were talking about 20 hours. Is it per week, the work? 20 hours per week, right?
It's 20 hours per week and 39 hours per fortnight. But you can work it like 20 hours per week.
Okay, so and what's the average kind of wage that a student can make while studying during their part-times?
So not only student, it's everyone. It's common for everyone. It's called, there's a policy called Fair Trade. There's a commission called Fair Trade Australia. So where in that, annually they'll be regulating the price of how much a permanent employee or a full-time employee gets there. So right now, if I'm not wrong, it's sitting on $21.33 I think per hour.
That's
per hour. Yeah. So and it depends, like it depends upon, again, I'm telling you. So if it's the basic one, some people get $33. I used to get $35 when I work in some other job. When I was working food and beverages, it's high. So when my friend used to work in a technical, in asphalt lab, testing lab, he used to earn $41, and he was in casual. So he was getting 15 hours and he was getting paid $41. While I was working in food and beverages, I used to get 31 or 32 between, and I used to get 11 or 12 hours per week. And when I used to, it depends. When you work in a fuel station, they pay you that basic one, which is $20 or $20.3, whatever that is, the base. So that's the base. You can't work
under that. Right.
Yes, you can't go under that, but you can go above that.
Bhargav, what about the amount of time you can work during your holiday season, maybe summer, when you have no
Yes, so
classes?
Yeah, many unis, what they do is they push you to take 2 breaks, which is summer breaks, okay? So which is a semester break. So they expect you to do 96 weeks of your coursework. So that's why you get 2 summer kinds or whatever it is, 2 semester breaks. So 3 months, 3 months. In that time, you can do 40 hours. You are just like an Australian citizen. You can do unlimited hours.
So guys, you have 6 months of time to do 40 hours per week, which is 8 hours per day.
So it's people say 40 hours, but there's a clause that when you have a full-time working rights, so it doesn't matter it's 38 or 40, you can go above that, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sure, guys, it sounds very easy to go do a part-time for 40 hours, but 15 hours when it plus it's Australia, you have to fit into that culture. The weather is hot most of the time. There are animals everywhere.
So one
I mean, the
correction here.
wildlife.
When you are in Melbourne, sorry, I've been in Melbourne last week, Sarang. So Melbourne is pretty chilly, man. So if you
Wow.
go, it's
Wow.
always 6 and 8 degrees because it's very near to Tasmania and New Zealand. So it's a very cold climate there, and it's a very unpredictable weather. So I live in Brisbane. It's very tropical and it's kind of like Indian, South India.
Something to add to this. So I've done my master's from Germany. The Germans say the weather is never bad. The weather is always good. Only your clothing is not right. So guys, be ready for that as well. Make sure your clothing is appropriate. The weather is always going to be good. Otherwise, it's going to be fresh, clean air.